confrontation between a taxi driver and an elderly motorist who is a licensed firearm holder left 2 people, including the taxi operator, shot and injured in Ligonier St. Andrew this morning. Assistant Commissioner Donovan Graham, head of the Area 4 Police, confirmed the incident. It has also been reported that the taxi operator and the licensed firearm holder accused each other of bad driving. Their argument then turned into a fight, during which the firearm holder fired his gun, hitting the driver and another person. The incident caused a traffic pileup. However, the police were quick on the scene and got things under control. The taxi driver and the other injured person are being treated in hospital. Their injuries are not considered to be life-threatening at this time. In other news tonight, Jaffael Doman, otherwise called Bimmer of Barrett Hall, St. James, who was wanted for murder, was arrested today by detectives assigned to the Counter-Terrorism and Organized Crime Investigation Branch during an operation on Darling Street in Westmoreland. Now, in addition to Doman's arrest, 4 persons were taken into custody for harboring him. Reports coming into our news center tonight are that at approximately 4:30 a.m., an operation was carried out in the Darling Street area where a premises was searched and Doman, along with the other occupants, held. Meanwhile, the public is being reminded that it is an offense to harbor fugitives. Anyone with information on wanted persons and their whereabouts is being asked to contact the nearest police station or to call Crime Stop at 311. As we continue with the news tonight, a man said to be behind the fatal shooting of 6-year-old Timora McCallum at Text Lane in Kingston on Monday has been charged after confessing to the killing. James Smith, a 55-year-old resident of Text Lane who was beaten by residents after the killing, admitted to police that he was handling an illegal firearm when it went off. The bullet from the weapon fatally injured Timora. Smith has been charged with murder and illegal possession of a firearm and ammunition. It was reported that at approximately 4 p.m., Smith was repairing an illegal firearm when a round of ammunition was discharged, hitting the child. She later died in hospital. Smith initially fled the community but was later caught by citizens. He was beaten before being handed over to the police. Law enforcement officers investigating the case interviewed Smith, and he reportedly confessed to the incident. Still tonight, the calls came swiftly yesterday for the resignation of councillor for the Montego Bay Southeastern Division, Arthur Lynch. Mr. Lynch was suspended by the ruling Jamaica Labour Party, JLP, with immediate effect after being charged with illegal possession of firearm and assault at common law. Now, the charges stem from an alleged dispute with his wife, though the firearm allegedly drawn during the family's fracas is licensed. According to police sources, the councillor has been slapped with illegal possession charges as the weapon was used improperly. Lynch was charged this week with illegal possession of firearm for allegedly using his licensed gun in an unlawful manner and assault at common law. He was reportedly charged after his wife gave a statement to the police and alleged that in August of last year, he pointed his licensed firearm at her following an altercation. Lynch is denying the allegation. The councillor recently filed for divorce from his wife, from whom he has reportedly been estranged for almost a year. The couple is also reportedly involved in a bitter dispute over property. In a statement yesterday, the JCF said steps are being taken to finalize Lynch's court date. The issue involving Lynch has also been referred to the JLP's disciplinary committee and is to subsequently be considered by the party's powerful central executive. Still making Mello TV news. The major organized crime and anti-corruption agency MOCA is conducting 10 significant investigations involving alleged corrupt public officials across various ministries, departments, and agencies of central government. This was disclosed this week by Minister of National Security, Dr. Horace Chang, as he tabled and debated the Major Organized Crime and Anti-Corruption Investigation and Prosecution Procedures Regulations in the House of Representatives. Dr. Chang said the matters include the abuse of position of authority for individual financial gain and also involves conspiracies between individuals to misappropriate state funds for use by them or others. He added that some are considered to be extremely high profile, complex, and sensitive, and require mixed levels of professional investigative skills and tenacity. Dr. Chang told the House that MOCA has since 2016 conducted 452 operations, made 353 arrests, laid 305 charges, and has had 217 convictions. Dr. Chang said that despite the challenges brought on by COVID-19, MOCA has continued to deliver strong operational outcomes by concluding a number of complex investigations. Now, in the area of cybersecurity, he said there are 136 cases involving 136 individuals, arising from 73 cases currently before the courts for breaches of the Cyber Crimes Act. We will bring you more on this story in subsequent newscasts. We go now to tonight's COVID-19 update. There were 23 new cases reported, while one additional COVID-19 related death was recorded, increasing the total of confirmed COVID-19 cases now to 91,601 and fatalities to 2,416. The deceased is a 91-year-old woman from Kingston and St. Andrew. Meanwhile, of the new cases, 14 are females and 9 are males, ranging in age from 3 months to 96 years. In tonight's COVID-19 parish breakdown, St. Thomas recorded 6 cases. St. Catherine and Kingston and St. Andrew recorded 5 cases each. St. James recorded 4 cases. Hanover, St. Elizabeth, and Westmoreland recorded 1 case each, while Clarendon, Manchester, Trelawney, St. Anne, Portland, and St. Mary had no cases on record. In the meantime, there were 50 additional recoveries, increasing the total of recovered persons now to 63,310. Continuing with the news tonight, Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Christopher Tufton, says the government is not harboring any fears at this time that the introduction of booster doses of COVID-19 vaccines will aggravate hesitancy among those who have rejected the jab in the first place. Dr. Tufton said he anticipates that more people will decide to take the vaccine in the face of continued COVID-19 surges, while pointing to the mounting evidence around the efficacy of vaccines, highlighting the Overseas Employment Program as an example of a high take-up of COVID-19 vaccination by persons who need to meet the job requirements. He stressed that the government has done all it can to make vaccines available and that people who continue to refuse inoculation do so at their own risk. The Health Ministry has advised that vaccination centers will start offering booster shots for COVID-19 vaccines within another week. This means persons who had been fully vaccinated with AstraZeneca 6 months ago can start receiving the shots, while those who have been vaccinated with Johnson & Johnson or Pfizer will be eligible for the boosters after 2 months. In the meantime, federal health officials yesterday authorized a new COVID-19 antibody drug for persons with serious health problems or allergies who cannot get adequate protection from vaccination. Antibody drugs have been a standard treatment for treating COVID-19 infections for over a year, but the AstraZeneca antibody drug cleared by the Food and Drug Administration (FDA) is different. It's the first intended for long-term prevention against COVID-19 infection rather than a short-term treatment. Persons who could benefit from the antibody drug include cancer patients, organ transplant recipients, and persons taking immune-suppressing drugs for conditions like rheumatoid arthritis. Health experts estimate about 2 to 3% of the U.S. population falls into that group. In other news tonight, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith is expressing deep disappointment that care packages sent to Jamaican students in Cuba have still not reached the students, despite strenuous efforts made by the ministry and its embassy in Havana to achieve timely delivery.
We are truly disappointed that the care packages sent to Jamaican students in Cuba still haven't reached them, despite the strenuous and committed efforts made by staff of the ministry, both here at headquarters and at the embassy at Havana. I remind you that this shipment not only includes the 100 care packages and the 152 suitcases full of care items collected for and from the Jamaican medical students, it also contained the medical equipment and supplies being donated to the government and people of Cuba by Jamaica, as well as essential items that are being sent for use for the embassy itself. So all of these items have been subject to the same delays, which is really, truly very disappointing to us all, especially given the efforts that have been made to manage our compliance at every step of the process.
The minister stated that as recently as December 6, 2021, the ministry advised parents and students of next steps for the clearing of the shipment, subject to the absence of any items which may be of sanitary and phytosanitary interest to customs.
So as recently as December 6th, the ministry reached out to parents and students by email advising them of the next steps for clearing. And these steps, of course, are subject to the absence of any sanitary or phytosanitary concerns raised about any particular items. And we are really hopeful that there will be none of those.
25 nurses from 5 hospitals received gifts from the San Myrna Foundation yesterday in recognition of their hard work throughout the COVID-19 pandemic. Here is Colleen May with more on this story.
5 nurses from the Kingston Public Hospital KPH and 20 other nurses from other hospitals are set to receive gifts from the San Myrna Foundation in recognition of their continued efforts in dealing with the ongoing pandemic. In his first presentation at KPH yesterday, Senior Director at the San Myrna Foundation, Robert White, said that the nurses are well deserving of this gift of pampering as they continue to help their patients feel better every day.
We see where you have to get up every morning and come to work. Sometimes when you're really tired, you still get up and come out here and you're on the front line. So we take this time to come and give you guys, 5 of you at this hospital today, vouchers to go to Gen Care, 5 nurses to go to Gen Care to get some body massage, manicure, pedicure, facial, and all of those things, body scrub, everything. So we just want you to get some pampering because you know each and every day you leave your house to come here and give pampering to a patient just for them to feel much better. So we want to take the time out to give you, the nurse that's on the front line, a little pampering by sending you to Gen Care to get you some massage and all of those things. And I just want you to know that we appreciate you and for all the effort that you push it. I know sometimes it's very difficult to deal with the public. People with different personality. Some of the way they speak to you and they want to style and all those things. However, you come to do a job and regardless of that you get the job done. And I just want to thank you. Thank you and thank you. I can't stop thanking you.
Co-founder and director of the foundation, Mark White, in his remarks to the nurses said that they are there to provide their support in any way they can.
It's just a token of appreciation coming from our heart and the person that support us. And to know that we have reached out to only 5 of you, it's never enough because there must be a cast behind the other 5. You understand? And we also want to say to those people that we thank them just as much. We are going through this and want to just stick with it and go through it together. And you know, for whatever reason, you know, you feel someday, you know, to call on us, to assist you in any way possible, and we can do it. Please feel free.
One nurse recipient who has been serving for over 13 years, Rakeli Francis, thanked the Smyrna Foundation for its generous gift to the nurses.
I deem it a great honor to have been asked to move the vote of thanks for this afternoon proceedings. And I do thank you all for making this a resounding success. My colleagues and I are very appreciative of the gesture, and I really want to thank, first and foremost, our Heavenly Father, to give him all the glory and the praise for blessing you so you can bless us, you know, with this token. We really appreciate it, and we're honored that persons out there still remember the healthcare workers that were on the front line, and we have given of ourselves, and we thank you for giving back to us. And we also do hope that your organization will be blessed in abundance to receive just as you have given to us. I thank you.
Following the presentation to nurses at the University Hospital of the West Indies, the Senior Director of the Nursing Services thanked the Smyrna Foundation and the nurses for their continued service.
And I'd just like to say this morning to Smyrna Foundation, we are quite pleased that you have taken the efforts to recognize and acknowledge the work and the worth of nurses of the University Hospital of the West Indies. We have had a hard-working team. Kudos to them all. We're glad you're on board with us, and we look forward to continue to serve. Thank you.
Reporting for Mello TV News, I'm Kelleen May.
Thank you, Kelleen, for that report. Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says a digital health information system is being implemented in approximately 150 hospitals island-wide in an effort to provide easier access to patient records. The $8 million project is part of several rehabilitation works being done at public health facilities across the island. The rehabilitation is set to take place over the next 3 years. The health minister, who was addressing the open house and exhibition for the rehabilitation of Jamaica's public health facilities, says the project will modernize the country's health system.
So as part of our infrastructure build-out, we are also investing some $8.5 million in a digitized, integrated health information system. Through this investment, we will be providing a modern and integrated digital healthcare system, high-speed internet, and we did sign recently a contract with Flow, and they are now going to be networking 150 health centers and hospitals across the country. So we have the technology platform. That technology platform is going to enable us to do a number of things, to put in place electronic health records. You know, you don't need to run from one building to the next or one health center to a hospital to know what the patient's medical history is as a doctor doing an assessment requiring to prescribe and to respond quickly. Similarly, for those of us in here who know the layout of a hospital, it's quite a journey to move from one department to the next. Again, you can get it on your phone, the information, of course, with appropriate levels of confidentiality for patient records.
Dr. Tufton says further projects will provide long-distance services across facilities.
We are transitioning, that's a simple message, from paper-based to digital, and that will bring us into the modern era of providing efficient healthcare response services to our patients. In short order, we will announce another provider through competitive process to deal with the software to facilitate the digitizing of records and the other components, including telemedicine. In fact, we're doing some pilots now where doctors at UWI are treating patients in Kitson via the technology platform.
And that's our news package for you tonight. Thank you for tuning in to Mello TV Evening News at 8. I am Shelley Ann Hill. Do stay safe and pleasant viewing.